Hello students, welcome to this session on dissemination or communication of research findings. Dissemination means to distribute or scatter about. Dissemination is much more than formal publication in journals. Dissemination can include web pages, other media, etc. And research is not complete unless it is published or presented to the community. Learning objectives. By the end of the lecture, students will be able to get a basic understanding of effective dissemination of research results, prepare an article for publication in the journals, explain the process and format of writing the research report or dissertation. A research project cannot be considered complete until the research results are effectively communicated to the users and consumers. Meaning of dissemination. Research not published is research half done. Communication of the research findings is carried out through dissemination process. Dissemination means to spread the information, opinions, knowledge widely. Semin. Semin is derived from the Latin word for seed. Information travels like seeds sown by a farmer. Teacher distributing a handout in the beginning of a class, for example. The process of sharing research findings with wider audiences. It is one of the most important and final steps in the research process, and the communication can be done through a variety of means like oral presentations or written. They are the ones which are most widely used. And there are three P's which are most popular, and they are the primary methods of dissemination: papers, presentations, and posters. A dissemination plan must address the purpose, the audience, the message to be conveyed, and the timings for dissemination. So, dissemination. Communicating research findings is the concluding stage or the final stage of the research process. Effective communication to users and consumers is carried out through dissemination process. It means communication or flow of information from a particular source. It includes a series of activities to transfer the research findings to users and consumers either by the written mode or by the oral means. Features. So let's see the features of dissemination. The major purpose of effective communication is to promote the research culture among the nursing fraternity. Dissemination means to distribute or scatter about. It is an integral part of the research process. The target group or the audience becomes aware, they receive and utilize the specific information. For effective dissemination, the researcher should have an adequate knowledge, skills, creativity, and clinical judgment, etc. It promotes the learning of new knowledge, expands the base for evidence based practice, and also improves the healthcare outcomes. Purposes. So, what are the purposes of dissemination? One needs to adhere to the guidelines, be open to the criticism, and also treat a rejection as the start of the next submission in case it is done. So, maximizing the impact of research. Effective dissemination leads to increased awareness of the research results, and that maximizes the impact of the research in improving health, helps in implementation of innovation. It supports staff in sharing information about new healthcare practices and also implementing innovations. Dissemination improves patients' outcome and it advances the body of knowledge, promotes critiquing of the research results, and encourages replication of the studies. Quality nursing care can be provided when results are communicated to the users and consumers. It can have impact on the clinical practice. It contributes to the development of protocols and policies. Energizes new people to conduct the research. So it motivates people to participate and conduct research. So these were the purposes of dissemination. Importance of dissemination: to make an impact, an innovative research should be communicated in a timely manner to the intended audiences. If it is not communicated and used by the other nurses, research becomes an unproductive effort. Effective dissemination leads to increased awareness about the research results, and they can be utilized in the clinical areas. And this maximizes the impact on improving the health of the patients. So quality nursing care can be provided all times. Criteria for effective dissemination: selecting and selecting a communication channel, knowing the target audience, developing a plan, deciding the type of publication, choosing the content, selecting a journal for publication, deciding on the authorship, that who's going to be the lead author and who is going to be the co-authors, preparing the outline of the report, and writing effectively the thesis or the dissertation. Because once statistical analysis is done and interpretation is done, the findings are ready and they need to be communicated. So to report the research findings, this criteria must be followed. Selecting an effective communication channel. So a suitable and appropriate channel has to be selected for the dissemination of the findings or the results. And it can be an oral presentation or a written report. It can be a formal talk for a targeted audience, or a poster presentation in the conference or a workshop or seminars. Written report as a research article can be published in the journals. The student researcher selects the thesis and dissertation or publishes in the journal as a part of the academic requirement. Knowing the target audience. So the researcher should know in advance to whom they want to communicate their research findings, whether it is the patients or the nurses or policymakers. So this will help in choosing the right method of communication. For example, if it is clinical areas, to bedside nurses, nurse educators if it is something related to the curriculum or it is related to the students or stress, nurse administrators, something related to the administration, um, healthcare professionals, or to the general public. So this is knowing the target audience. Developing a plan. So before beginning the preparation of a research report, a plan has to be developed, dissemination plan. It should include the decision about communication outlets and also the targeted audience. So depending on the focus of the journal, a particular section of report can be expanded. For example, deciding about the type of publication, whether the publication has to go in nursing journals, medical journals, health journals, or clinical based journals, and whether to publish in a research journal or a clinical based journal. So, research studies are mostly suited for the scholarly research journals. Evidence based guidelines, quality improvement, program evaluation, they are all published in specialty journals. So, depending on the focus of the journal, a particular section of the report can be expanded. For example, if it is for the practice, more can be written about the discussion of the findings. And if it is about the methodology, and if it happens to be research based journal, so methodology will be dealt in more details. Choosing the content. So selecting the content, what aspects of the study are to be included, whether it is quantitative data or qualitative data, or if it is both the data is collected, they have to be reported separately. Decision on how many pages are needed to communicate the findings effectively. Unnecessary duplication or overlapping to be avoided. It is unethical to submit the same paper to two journals simultaneously. Selecting a journal for publication. So to select a suitable journal, some important factors to be kept in mind. One, what is the goal of the journal which you are selecting for publication? Who is the audience type and what is their level? What is the frequency of publication, whether it is monthly or it is or it is by annual, or it is twice in a year, or it is quarterly journal. Acceptance procedure. So what is the acceptance procedure? How much time do they take, and do they charge some money? Research subject or the topic, what all topics do they need, and what are the prerequisites for the publication? So all this has to be kept in mind before selecting a journal for publication. Deciding on the authorship. On completion of the study, deciding on authorship is important. The International Committee of Medical Journal Editors advises ICMJE that authorship credit should only be given to those who have made a substantial contribution to the conception and design of the study, or to the data analysis and interpretation, drafting or revising the manuscript, and approving the final version of the manuscript. So the lead author is the first named author. The order of the author to be finalized beforehand. And if there are comparable contributions, then the authors have to be listed alphabetically. So the lead author and the co-authors, they need to know their roles and responsibilities right from the beginning. Assembling material. So the guidelines for journal manuscript should be read very carefully. They should be clearly understood before the actual writing begins. The relevant literature and the references should be assembled. Description of the study sample, what was the size of the sample and how were the selected sampling technique, output of the computer analysis, figures, permissions to use the copyright materials, etc. All these must be organized. Preparing report. So outline of the report. Written outlines are very useful to organize the material. An outline provides the directions for inclusion of the content in the manuscript. It also includes the headings and the subheadings, and also the timeline for completing the manuscript. Journal guidelines need to be followed very carefully for publishing a research article in a journal, because all journals have different guidelines for the number of pages and other things to be followed. University guidelines to be followed for thesis or dissertation for the students. So journal guidelines for the journals, university guidelines for the college students. Writing effectively. So writing well is a key component of the research process. The readers might lose interest if there are errors in the manuscript. So select appropriate and the simple words. Frame the sentences, keeping in mind the do's. Organize the thoughts effectively. Better to prepare the entire draft in the beginning, then go for a review for the incomplete sentences, any spelling mistakes, grammatical errors, and then reorganize the whole at the end. Sentences can be done later, because research findings provide guidelines for establishing care standards, framing policies, and support effective patient care delivery. So they need to be communicated. Research needs to be communicated. It has to be error free. Methods of communication of research. There are various methods or means which can be used to communicate effectively. For example, in the project form, in the abstract, article form, thesis, dissertation, etc. Written reports. It is the best method for disseminating research findings. This communication method has the potential to reach the largest percentage of consumers. Publication. So publication is the best medium for sharing knowledge built during the research process. Growth of nursing profession depends on the documented evidences for the advancement of new knowledge. So this is about the publications. So it is publication. The noun publication comes from the Latin word publicare, which means making it public, written and made available publicly. Anything that has been published is a publication. They could be in the form of thesis, dissertations, published scientific articles in journals or periodicals. So it is action of making something public, written or a printed form or an electronic work offered for the distribution Publishing involves authoring a research article in a particular format suggested for the manuscript, then sending it to an appropriate professional journal for the publication. Oral reports. Oral reports, they are very popular and useful method for disseminating research findings among the users. They are written and presented in front of the group of professionals at conferences, workshops, seminars, etc. They can be presented either through posters or through the computer slides. It has advantages as compared to the published article. Research report. So what is a research report? It is an important and integral part of the research process. Writing a report is the last step in the research study, and it does need special skills, needs assistance and guidance from the experts, from the guides, a brief description of the research work done by the researcher. A research report summarizes the key aspects of the study. It includes the title, the introduction, objectives, methodology used, results generated, discussion, and the conclusions. Research report. What are the characteristics of the research report? It focuses on important issues. It is an effective report, needs to focus on important issues, and it should be a true and honest one. It should emphasize on the accurate information. The information needs to be complete in all aspects. It should be clear, clarity, and there should not be any confusion to the readers. It should be concise and should not be wasting time. So the focus, accuracy, clarity, and conciseness. Guidelines for preparing the research report. Be objective, show originality in your work, minimize the use of technical language or the jargon, use visual aids, treat the data confidentially, use appropriate layout with the objectives in mind. Subject matter to be presented in a logical sequence, use headings and subheadings to attract the reader's attention. Index should be neat and clear, must be attractive in appearance. It should be free from grammatical mistakes. The methodology and findings are written in the past tense. Have peer review of the research report. Should have a good bibliography. Appendices to enlist all the data in the report at the end. Revise and rewrite. So these are the guidelines which need to be strictly followed for preparing the research report. So steps in preparing the research report. So preparing an effective research report is a time consuming task, and it needs multiple types of skills. So assembling and logical analysis of the subject matter, preparing the final layout, preparing a preliminary draft, revising and rewriting, writing the bibliography, and then finally writing the final draft. So steps, a well-written research report should effectively, efficiently disseminate the information to the users and consumers. It should be objective and should be open to new possibilities. Should be composed in good English using short and direct sentences. Should give attention to all the details and the steps. So assembling the subject matter, arranging the subject matter from the simplest possible to the most complex structures. These are based on the logical sequence one after the other, and they follow the chronological order. Preparing the layout. So it is the next important step. An outline is prepared, which serves as the framework upon which the whole report is built. And that helps in logical organization of material and on the important points. Preparing the preliminary draft. The researcher writes down what has been done. It includes the procedure which has been adopted for this study, analysis, limitations, findings, generalizations, all sources to be cited in the draft. Revising and rewriting. Careful revision of the preliminary draft has to be done to overcome the flaws in the logical development and presentation. Consistency should be emphasized. Grammar and spelling should also be paid attention. Writing the final draft. So this is the last step in the report, and there should not be any type of errors. should be clearly organized and formatted correctly. Brevity, it should be in brief, and objectivity should be the main features of the presentation, and simple language which is easily understandable to be used. Vague expressions need to be avoided, must motivate the reader and generate interest. The draft should be such, should contribute to the solution of the problem and must add knowledge to the profession. Types of research reports. It can be published in the journals, so publication in the journals, oral presentations, poster presentations, and dissertation or thesis. So these are the types of research reports. Publication in journals. A research report is prepared for publishing in the journals, presenting in conferences, whether it is an oral presentation or a poster presentation, and then writing thesis or dissertations. The preparation of a research report for publication differs from the journals. So selecting a journal. So selecting a journal very carefully, depending on the topic of the research, to reduce the chances of rejection. Select a journal which should match the subject focus of the article and also must reach the targeted audience. Because the main purpose of the nursing research is to build knowledge and disseminate it through the publications. So publication of the journals. Selecting a journal, sending query letter to the editors, reading the author guidelines. Guidelines are given by the journals for the authors, preparing the publication, organizing the content, then submitting the manuscript, and then reviewing, revising, and resubmitting. So this is the publication. Selecting a journal. So ensure the appropriateness of the proposed article to the journal's scope and aims. So what is the aim of the journal? What is the scope of the journal? Determine the impact factor of the journal or the journal rank, article influence. They are all linked to the citation rate of the articles. Checking for journal requirements like what is the word count they accept, what are the publication charges, what the style of writing they need, peer review period, whether it is 4 months, 6 months, 8 months, publication timeline, publication mode, do they accept online or do they want a printed form, and also frequency of publication. That is how when you're selecting a journal, all these to be kept in mind. Type of journal. So the journal can be chosen either before or after the manuscript is ready. If manuscript has already been prepared, the suitable journal can be searched. An appropriate journal can be selected based on the content of the article, following the journal guidelines. Type of journal to be decided whether it can be a referred one or non-referred one. A referred journal is the one in which manuscripts are reviewed by the research experts, peer reviews, or referees, and it is also known as referred publication. So these are the authors peer group. That is why they are called peer review, and they are selected by the journal's editorial staff. And these reviewers are also called referees. So that is why it is known as referred publication. So this is double blind. That means neither the reviewers nor the authors, they're not aware. So they remain anonymous to each other. Sending query letter. So sending a query letter to the editors, written to the editors, to determine the level of interest of the editor regarding publication of the research. It contains a brief description of the title of your study, purpose of the study, methodology used, results generated, and then what are the implications of this study. That letter, query letter. These letters can save researchers a lot of time, and the editor can ask to submit the entire manuscript if he is interested in that manuscript. So this was sending a query letter. Reading the author guidelines. Authors are given instructions on preparing tables and figures. Tables and figures, they're given instructions about page limit, type of references, types of articles accepted, formatting, review and submission process timeline. The researcher should read, understand, and follow all these directions carefully. Prepare outline based on these guidelines. A standard reporting guideline, advice on word count, reference style, and also the major headings. So these were the reading author guidelines. Preparing for publication. For example, type of research study and then guidelines for reporting findings of a research study. If it is a randomized controlled trials, RCTs, then we need to follow the consort guidelines, that is consolidated standards of reporting trials, appendices 12 and 13. And if it happens to be a case report, then care guidelines, reporting guidelines for case reports, appendix 15. If it is a systematic reviews and meta-analysis, then PRISMA guidelines have to be followed. Preferred reporting items for systematic reviews and meta-analysis, appendices 16 and 17. If it is an observational study, then STROBE. STROBE guidelines have to be followed, appendix 14, strengthening the reporting of observational studies in epidemiology. If it is a non-randomized studies, then trend guidelines have to be followed, appendices 18 and 19, transparent reporting of evaluations with non-randomized designs. So this is needs to prepare for the publication depending on the type of research study. Organize the content. To organize the content under the following headings, what will be the title page like? Abstract, introduction, methods, results, discussion, conclusions, acknowledgements, references, tables and table captions, figures and figure captions. So all these have to be organized under this content. The title page. So all these journal guidelines will instruct the authors to organize the accordingly. Should include title of the manuscript, the title page, authors and authors affiliations, the keywords, complete contact information of the authors. Plagiarism to be kept in mind, words, phrases to be checked using plagiarism software, authorship, who provides substantial information for the study design, analysis and interpretation of data, and those who draft or revise the article. There should be a consensus on the order of authorship among all authors from the beginning. Same article not to be submitted in more than one journal. So that means duplicate publication to be avoided. Submit the manuscript. Once the manuscript is ready for journal submission, has to be uploaded in the portal along with the cover letter. It should include the cover letter, title of the paper, details of the authors, and their contact information, email ID, and also the contact number. Undertaking by the author regarding the originality of the paper, non-submission of the article to other journals. So all these undertaking has to be given by the author. Approval of the authors need to be given. Review, revise and resubmit. Review. So peer-reviewed journal assigns the articles to 2 or 4 reviewers for review to critique the manuscript. Author is blinded to the reviewer. They're not aware who's going to review their article. Based on originality, timeliness of problem, objectivity, honesty, completeness, readability, and rigor of the problem. Revision. Reviewers' comments are addressed point by point, and resubmission should include a covering letter, how corrections were handled, whatever deficiencies they pointed out, proofreading and accepting for the publication. So why are the papers rejected? So what are the reason for papers being rejected? Maybe it could be a wrong journal, no new information, or paper does not make a point, a poorly written content, or the topic is too narrow, inaccuracies in the content, proposed hypothesis not being tested, information is out of date, or it is old, or it is missing information, methodology issues, there is flaws in the methodology, not a proper up to the mark, or it is poorly described, too much of literature, or not adequate results, clinically not applicable, and conclusions drawn are not from the data. Statistical problems related to the analysis are incorrect. Paper taken from the thesis without modification, that means it is not an original one. Advantages and disadvantages of publication. Advantages, it can reach a larger audience. Dissemination occurs more readily. Information in the articles is reliable because scholarly journals go through a peer review process. Journals have comprehensive information of the research study. Disadvantages: sometimes there can be a delay in the actual publication of the report, poor feedback from the target group, either they're not aware or they're not able to comprehend. E-journals are not always referred, increased potential for plagiarism. Publication issues. Plagiarism. Plagiarism means using another author's content, concept, or language and representing it as their own original work without giving them any credit or acknowledgement. Fabrication. Fabrication means making up the data, creating own data and then reporting it. Falsification. Falsification means manipulating the research materials, changing data, omitting data. That means actual research work which is being done, it is not presented in the research report. Last one, redundant. Redundant means publishing article in more than one journal. So these were the publication issues. Ethical considerations for publication. So ethical guidelines need to be followed like research during publication of manuscript. So it is the soundness and reliability, it is the collective responsibility of the authors to present the results in a sound manner and they should be reliable. Honesty. So they should be results should be presented with honesty without any manipulation. Should not leave any inconsistent findings. Balance. So balance has to be maintained while presenting the results. Transparency. So it should be the research fund, if it is a funded research project, should be disclosed. Accountability and also responsibility should be with the authors, and they also need to be accountable to the post publication comments or suggestions. Originality. So it has to be original work, that means should not have been published elsewhere. Institutional review board approval. So the article or the research should be approved by the institutional research committee or institutional ethics committee, and you need to mention the date on which we got the approval and also the reference number. Informed consent and confidentiality also to be maintained. Privacy of data, confidentiality to be made, measures to be taken. Authorship and acknowledgement. So it is the ethical responsibility of the author to acknowledge the contributors for their research work. So ethical guidelines for the publication. Oral presentation. Oral presentation is also referred to as paper presentation. The report of the study is presented to the group of professionals at conferences. So it is the real targeted audience. An important method of communicating a research report. Presentations can be done formally at local level, national level, international level, and informally among the peer groups. Authors have to submit a research abstract before the conference in a given format. So it has to be given much, say 2 or 3 months before in advance, so that they can go through it and then they can finally select. So oral presentation. After accepting the submission, author presents the paper in the conference. They get a nod and then they present the paper in the conference. 10 to 15 minutes are given for the presentation and 5 minutes for interaction or discussion with the audience. Oral presentations are appropriate when the study has a limited scope. Conversational delivery makes the presentation more effective. IMRAD format has to be followed up. For example, I for introduction, methodology, results, analysis, and discussion. So this is oral presentation, the IMRAD format. So this was given by Bradford Hill 1965, a format for writing. Introduction. So what did you do? That means what was the question, research question, methodology. So that means how was it studied? Results. So what was found in the results? Analysis. So how was the data analyzed? Discussion. So what are the findings say? What are the meaning of the findings? So this is the IMRAD format: introduction, methodology, results, analysis, and discussion. So to be rehearsed several times to familiarize with the content and keep a check on the allotted time. Dress appropriately and make eye contact with the audience. Check presentation hall beforehand. Limit report to only the essential points, not the irrelevant points. Slides to contain no more than 6 lines per slide or 7 words per line. Bullet statements to be presented. Simple language, and there should be minimum jargon. It should be right font, that is Times New Roman and or Arial for the headings. Text need to be written in all capital to be avoided. Font size for title 44, major text 32, minor text 24. And there should be 1.5 line spacing, which is easy to follow. Remember, use contrast colors. Avoid use of many colors in one particular slide. Use schematic diagrams in the methodology section, easy to understand. Table to have not more than 4 columns and 3 rows. Graphs to be in the results section. One graph on each slide so that they can be stated clearly. Photos to be used effectively to break up the monotony of the text. Encourage questions and discussions after the presentation. So there should be 5 to 10 minutes only kept for discussion. Answer their queries or take up their suggestions and thank the audience. Ensure that it is closed naturally, the presentation. Giving email ID for the questions, suggestions, or comments. Advantages and disadvantages of oral presentation. So able to disseminate the findings much more quickly than the written, able to get feedback then and there from the participants either during the presentation or after the presentation. It helps the researcher to rethink on the research findings. Disadvantages: information is transmitted to only a limited number of people. There is very little time to establish context of the research because the time allotted is only 10 to 15 minutes. There is very little opportunity for an in-depth discussion on the results. Not suitable for those who dislike presenting to the larger groups. So these were the oral presentation. Now coming to poster presentation. Poster presentation is another important method and very common method of communicating. It is a regular feature which is practiced in conferences and seminars and workshops. So communicating a research report, the highlights of this study are summarized by using visual graphics. The study results are examined by the audience with or without active interaction of the investigator. Most of the times the investigator is around. The research conferences include poster presentations. Posters are displayed in the area and there are 1 to 2 hours allotted for the sessions. The researcher should be present for effective communication. Preparing a poster. So the main purpose of poster presentation is to educate about research findings and get their feedback. Should be presented in an easy way for comprehension. The major titles should be of large size, 1 inch high to see the letters from the 3 feet away. Avoid using all caps. There should be minimum 16 font size. Use correct grammar and spellings, so no mistakes. Avoid background graphics, so light colored background with dark colored text. So it should be just to the point with the use of phrases. Contents of a poster. Heading should have a heading, introduction, a few lines of introduction, problem statement, methodology used for the research, what are the results, key results, what are the implications of the study, and acknowledgements. So these are your contents. Graphs may be used to highlight the results, especially the results section. Tables and graphs must be used effectively, should have a proper heading, which should have title of the study, authors of the poster. Introduction should be concise and pleasing. Research problem statement and hypothesis. Methodology should have design, sample size, variables, measurements, and methods of data collection. Results should be presented by use of tables, bullets, and it should be only the interesting findings to be reported. Implications can help the practitioners, the educators, and the administrators. Acknowledgements to the individuals who assisted with the project and also the funding organization. So the poster layout. So title, authors and affiliations in the summary, introduction, importance of the topic, problem statement, objectives, methodology and results, implications, and then acknowledgements. Advantages and disadvantages of poster presentation. A poster session has the potential to reach a large number of people than an oral presentation, because there will be many people who can view them for 1 day, 2 day, or 3 day, or the full number of days the conference goes on. It can be put on the very day one. It allows one-to-one interaction with people interested in the research problem. Poster sessions make it possible for a huge number of researchers to present their findings at conferences, workshops, seminars. Less flexible, disadvantage, it is less flexible when compared to a presentation. Once a poster is printed or it is made, it is very difficult to make corrections unless you have to get it redo. So limited number of people are able to read the poster. Limited amount of information can be presented in a poster as it has the proper size. Dissertation or thesis. So dissertation or thesis is an important subject in all professional courses, so that the students get familiar with the research process and they go through the process of conducting the research. So dissertation or thesis is a document which contains research methodology and the findings, which are submitted in partial fulfillment for obtaining a professional degree or a qualification. The words thesis and dissertation, they are used interchangeably, but they represent two different types of academic papers. Thesis is as part of the bachelor's or master's course, and dissertation is used for a doctoral degree. A dissertation has more in-depth information than a thesis, and it offers new knowledge to the profession. The principle behind a thesis or a dissertation is to guide the students in the process of scholarly research and also writing the research report. So what are the purposes of writing dissertation? Why do we write dissertation or thesis? To develop scientific attitude among the students, to improve clinical skills in the students, to critically appraise scientific articles, to familiarize with the statistical concepts and the methods, to develop skills in data collection, data recording, data analysis, and compilation of data, and also comparison of data, to develop skills in writing thesis and dissertation. So these were the purposes of writing thesis or dissertation. So dissertation, what are they? Three format: preliminary material, main body, and then end report. The preliminary material should have title page, declaration page, acknowledgements, table of contents, list of tables, list of figures, list of appendices, abbreviations used in the study, and abstract of the study. Main body should have chapters: introduction, chapter 1, chapter 2, review of literature, chapter 3, methodology, chapter 4, results, chapter 5, discussion, chapter 6, summary and conclusions. And the end report should have references and appendices. Guidelines for writing dissertation. General guidelines. So there should be a clarity of thought and understanding of the concept. So the author should use familiar words and also using standard abbreviations. So paragraphs. So better to use short and simple sentences in a paragraph form. Paraphrasing. Paraphrasing means putting information in your own words. So summarizing the author's thoughts. Using transition words. For example, although, in addition, on the other hand, etc. to be used in the thesis. Bibliography to be written of all the articles. So these are the guidelines for writing dissertation. So preliminary material should have a title page, declarative page, acknowledgements, table of contents, list of tables, list of figures, list of appendices, abbreviations used, and then the abstract. So this is about the title page. The title page should have title of the study, name of the candidate, thesis submitted to, name of the university, and the program, name of the program, subject name, name of the guide, name of the department, and name of the institute and the university logo. This is about the title page. So this is a declaration by the candidate. So it is a bona fide and genuine work declaration to be given by the candidate. Certificate to be given by the guide related to bona fide work. Endorsement by the head of the institute regarding genuine work of the candidate. Copyright declaration by the candidate, so that have the right to preserve, store, use, and disseminate the dissertation. So this is by the candidate. Copyright declaration. Tables and figures. Tables and figures must be clearly presented, and they should have a format which is easy to interpret and easy to follow, understand. Tables should be in a separate section, have a title in bold, presentation of the data in main text, list to be in sequence with the page numbers, each table to be referred in manuscript text, figures should be placed in a separate section, the clarity and appropriateness must comply with the content, accurate figures and exploratory notes to be given, a brief title in bold, and should have only significant results to be reported. Abstract. So abstract is the one which grabs the reader's attention right in the beginning. It is a concise summary of the article, a paragraph in length. It should be as brief as possible. It promotes the audience's curiosity to read the complete article. It should be such. Abstract should be such written. The method for writing the abstract is given in the guidelines section. An independent document which should start with the objectives of the study, a brief description of how the study was carried out, and it shows the significant results and also the impact of the study. Main body. Main body should have introduction, review of literature, methodology used, results generated, discussion, and then summary and conclusions. Chapter 1, that is introduction. It includes background of the problem, significance of the study, has a brief literature review which is related and relevant to the study. Broad starts with the broad topic, then it is narrowed down. It has conceptual framework, problem statement, objectives of the study, operational definitions, assumptions, and hypothesis. And the final section of this chapter summarizes the contents of the subsequent chapters of the study, chapter 2, 3, 4, all of them. So this was the introduction, chapter 1. Chapter 2, review of literature. So it is a lengthy chapter which can span up to 15 to 20 pages. Comprehensive review of the literature which is related and relevant to the problem under investigation. It includes significant research data relevant to the problem which is written in a chronological order. The information needs to be logically organized into sections and then further into subsections. The citations should be used extensively throughout the chapter. Overuse of direct quotations to be avoided, and it ends with a short summary of the literature review. Chapter 3. So it in methodology. So it includes research design, setting of the study, population sampling technique, data collection procedures, instruments or tools, data analysis, in details in experimental and quasi-experimental studies, because they will be using the intervention. So that also has to be done in experimental studies. Statistical method which are used to analyze the data. Chapter 4, results. The research findings are presented with the help of tables and figures and with brief textual description underneath. Number of samples, type of tests used. First, the descriptive has to be explained and then the inferential statistics. So it should have the values, degrees of freedom, and also the significance level. Chapter 5, discussion. It includes what has been done and what new knowledge has been generated. It should be in relation to the objectives of the study and also previous authors' findings. So presenting significant findings in the results section, comparing with the existing literature, results should be interpreted, logical arguments for supporting the hypothesis or rejecting the hypothesis. It helps in making the recommendations. Limitations also should be discussed. Conclusions, summary and conclusions. It is a brief statement of the major results and conclusions from the findings. So point of discussion and achievement of the objectives are also mentioned, whether objectives have been achieved. Limitations, implications, and recommendations are also discussed. Acknowledgements, expressing gratitude and appreciation, recognizing the contribution of the consultants who have provided valuable suggestions to the study. End report. So the end report should have references and the appendices or annexes. The references list is very important to the research report, and all references quoted in the text should be included. Compiled to include all the key sources. Specified reference format has to be used depending on the organization. Should be current and organized appropriately, either it is Vancouver style or APA style. Appendix or annexes to be placed towards the end of the report, and it must include tools with the scoring details, consent form, ethical clearance certificate, permission letters, modules, if it happens to be planned teaching program, panel of experts who were consulted for the content validity of the tools, coding sheets, and then the master data sheet. Remember, one sentence must be less than 40 words. One paragraph must be 125 words or less than half a page. Appropriate tense must be used, especially the past tense. Do not use passive voice. Use punctuations carefully, avoiding repetition of words or sentences. Avoiding words like very, quite, rather, fairly, relatively, several, much, etc. Adequate spacing, that is 1.5 space to be given, and appropriate margins to be left, checking for English grammar, and getting the editing done. Avoiding abbreviations or using standard abbreviations. Style of writing references or bibliography must be followed. Conclusion. Research reports are an effective means of communicating the research findings to the readers and consumers of research. A research report is the ultimate outcome of the research process. An effective dissemination of the research findings leads to an improvement of the knowledge and practice among healthcare providers. Research, no matter how good, is incomplete until it has been published. So a successful researcher needs to be a good communicator. So this was all about. Thank you, students.